Vision is one of the most heavily tested senses on the MCAT, showing up in both the psychology and sociology and the biology and biochemistry sections of the MCAT. And the exam doesn't just ask you to label the parts of the eye, it pushes you to connect anatomy, physiology, and perception into one story, from the moment light enters the eye to how the brain interprets what you see. Light and the eye. Vision starts when light enters the eye through the cornea, which begins the focusing process. The pupil controls how much light gets in, expanding in the dark and contracting in bright light. Then the lens fine-tunes that focus to project the image onto the retina at the back of the eye. Retina and photoreceptors. The retina is packed with photoreceptors, rods and cones. Rods dominate in low light and help with peripheral vision, while cones give us sharp detail and color vision. For MCAT purposes, remember, rods are for night, cones are for color. The visual pathway. Once light hits those receptors, signals travel through the optic nerve. At the optic chiasm, some fibers cross to the opposite side, which is what gives us binocular vision. From there, information continues to the brain for deeper processing. Visual processing in the brain. The primary visual cortex in the occipital lobe does the heavy lifting. Specialized neurons detect edges, colors, and motion. This is called feature detection. It's your brain breaking down an image into components so you can instantly recognize a face, a word, or a moving car. Gestalt principles. But perception is more than raw features. Gestalt principles explain how we naturally organize visual input into meaningful patterns. We group nearby objects together, follow continuous lines, fill in incomplete shapes, and see holes instead of disconnected parts. These shortcuts help explain why optical illusions work so well. Depth perception. Depth is another favorite MCAT testing point. Binocular cues, like retinal disparity, use the difference between what each eye sees to estimate distance. Monocular cues also matter, things like relative size, inner position, and linear perspective. These tricks allow us to perceive depth even with one eye closed. Color vision. We see color thanks to 3 types of cones, sensitive to short, medium, and long wavelengths. But the brain processes color in pairs, red versus green, blue versus yellow. That's the opponent process theory, and it explains why you can't see a reddish-green or a yellowish-blue. Visual disorders. The MCAT may also bring up common vision problems. Myopia, or nearsightedness, comes from light focusing in front of the retina. Hyperopia, farsightedness, is when light focuses behind it. Other issues like cataracts and color blindness are also fair game, usually in experimental passages. Visual illusions. Finally, illusions remind us that perception isn't perfect. They show how the brain fills in gaps, makes assumptions, and sometimes gets tricked. That's exactly why vision is so testable. It combines biology with psychology in one system. So here's the bottom line for vision on the MCAT. Know how the eye captures light, how rods and cones function, how the visual pathway carries information to the brain, and how principles like depth perception and Gestalt rules shape what we see. If you can connect anatomy to perception, you'll be ready for almost any passage they throw at you. With that said, here are just a few of our student success stories. Students who improved their scores and even got into medical school. If you're preparing for the MCAT, click the link below to get started with your own preparation. We specialize in helping students reach a 515+ score guarantee, and we'd love to help you too. And don't forget, subscribe to our channel for more MCAT breakdowns like this, and follow us on Instagram for extra tips and resources.